welcome to the Curriculus. I'm the Monk, and today we are doing a review on Twin Breaker. Now, Twin Breaker is a story-driven brick-breaking game modelled in the style of the 80s arcade classic like Arkanoid and, of course, Breakout. Now, it's both developed and published by Lilimo and East Asia Soft. They actually sent me the key for this game, so big thank you to you guys for actually sending me the key to actually get a chance to play this. Now, Twin Breaker has it has 40 levels, not over, sorry guys. It has 40 levels, it has 4 boss fights, and there's loads and loads of different game modes. I think there's 7 different game modes you can actually play as well. And of course, you've got the classic power-ups when you actually play this game. Now, it's available on the PlayStation, Xbox, the Switch, and Windows. And it is set for $9.99 in US dollars or $7.99 if you're over here in the UK. Now, this is pretty much exactly what you would expect from a game like this. You know, this is a extremely classic retro game. It's a game that we probably have all played, you know, in our gaming lives. I mean, you know, a lot of us gamers, you know, have been around for a very long time. We have played games from the very beginning, you know, very first ever console games, right up until this modern generation. And this is exactly what we always used to play. This is definitely a game that we should all be familiar with by now. There's a few twists and a few turns in this game. You know, it definitely tries to do something different. It tries to implement a storyline, which for me kind of failed, as again I feel like this is something that could have been improved with voice acting. You know, so it's just a lot of dialogue to be reading, to be honest with you, especially at the beginning of the game, and that's really where the actual the story element of it is. But I did enjoy myself playing this, which, you know, is a massive thing. You know, I think that when you play this sort of game, you know exactly what to expect. You know what you're signing up for, and it delivers. It delivers on everything that you expected, and like I said, it did actually add a few toss and turns as well. Like, for instance, you know, you're having to control 2 paddles, not 1. And sometimes you're controlling a lot more than 2 paddles. Well, I guess there's not much of a game to ruin, but, you know, basically you end up getting paddles at the top of the screen, at the bottom of the screen, and at both sides of the screen. And of course, you've got your 2 analog sticks to kind of, you know, navigate all these different paddles, and it's quite nice. You know, it's definitely challenging. I think that I was expecting it to be extremely easy. You know, I think I got into the mid 20s, maybe early 30s in level wise. So I've played enough of this game to know what it's got to offer. I fought all the bosses, because you can actually do there's a game mode where it actually just gives you all the bosses to fight in one go, which I quite liked. The bosses were challenging, they were fun, they offered something a little bit different. So overall, I've got to say I quite enjoyed the game. I mean, sound-wise, it gets a bit repetitive, but I mean, I guess at the same time, it lives up to what it's trying to be. With this game, it never tries to be anything it's not. You know, it's not overreaching. It's not trying to massively change the genre of this game. It is just a retro game. You know, it's a classic retro game that we're all very familiar with. Therefore, it's really easy to use. It's really easy just to pick up and play. And it's also a game that may be, you know, an interesting one to kind of introduce to the younger generation and be like, hey, you know, this is where we started off. What do you think? You know, can you do it? So I quite like it. I think I will definitely try it with my little ones and see what they think. Price wise, I can't say that I agree with the price. I think $10 for this game may be a little bit too much. I understand that there are 40 levels, you know, and there's 4 different bosses. I understand that they try to put a lot of work into it. I just don't think it's quite worth that. I think maybe, you know, pick it up and sell for £5 and you're laughing. You know, it's definitely a game that I would spend £5 on it. Would I spend £10 on it? Probably not, you know, although I liked the you know, going back to a game like this, and I think a few more of them should be made. I believe Tetris has just got a remake this year. In fact, this month I believe it comes out. And I think a few more of these games should be remade, because they are absolute classics, and, you know, it's definitely not something that I think maybe we should be forgetting, you know, where the gaming industry started. Because at the end of the day, it was games like this that actually drove us to have games like Red Dead, Red Dead Redemption and The Witcher, which was our game of the last decade. So so this is my review on Twin Breaker. Like I got to say, it's not much of a game to actually do a review on. We all know exactly what it is, and I quite enjoyed it. So with all that being said, I give this game a massive 5 out of 10. Like I said, this game does exactly what it says on the tin. It doesn't disappoint, and it delivers a little bit more than you expect as well. So, well done to the developers for doing this game. So if you've enjoyed this video, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and of course to subscribe. We recently hit 500 subscribers, so I just want to take a quick second and just thank everyone for actually hitting that button, subscribing in the first place, and supporting the channel for as long as you have. We're a little over a year old now, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the support of you guys, so really appreciate it. So what are your thoughts on this game, of the gameplay that I've shown you? Is this something that you are going to be buying? Do you think that this game is priced correctly? And do you remember playing this originally when it very first ever came out? Let me know down in the comments, and I will do my very best to make sure that I reply to every single one of you guys. And have a good day, guys. I will see you in the next video real soon.